Hello, good morning students and welcome back to class 9 work and energy chapter. So in the previous video we studied about the law of conservation of energy, and it states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another form. And we saw a simple example over here that when an object is placed at a certain height, it has potential energy, and when it starts moving, that energy is converted into kinetic energy, and when it reaches the surface, at just about touching the surface, it has maximum velocity, and at that point it has maximum kinetic energy, and that point its height is 0, so it has 0 potential energy. Okay? Now that we know that, let's move on to the derivation, like I said, which is really important for all of you, and it is for the benefit of the future as well. It is in 11th standard also law of conservation of energy once again, and there we have in details the same thing. Okay, so pay attention everyone. At point A, let's say we have an object of mass m. It is placed at a height h. Okay, and at that point the total energy of the system is kinetic energy plus potential energy. But at A, the object is not moving. Its initial velocity u is 0. Its initial velocity u is 0 because the object is kept there. It is not moving, and therefore its kinetic energy is 0. So at point A, we can say that its kinetic energy is 0 because its initial velocity u is 0. Okay? So when its initial velocity is 0, kinetic energy is 0, and therefore total energy of the system is equal to kinetic plus potential. But kinetic is 0, therefore total energy becomes 0 plus potential energy. So whatever the energy it has at this point, it is based on potential energy only, and its potential energy is what? Potential energy is given by gravitational potential energy, which is mgh, because it is having mass m, gravitational acceleration g, and height h. So we can write that the total energy of the system is 0 plus mgh, and therefore total energy 0 plus mgh is mgh. So at point A, kinetic energy is 0 because initial velocity is 0, and total energy is kinetic plus potential. So 0 plus potential is potential itself, and potential energy is mgh. So we have mgh as the total energy of the system at point A. Okay, mass m, height h, and g is the gravitational acceleration. So the total energy we have now, that at this point, this is the energy. Now, according to the law of conservation of energy, at whatever point we choose, the total energy of the system should remain the same. That is, if we move to point B, that now the object is moving, we have released the object from its point. So it starts moving and it has certain velocity. Let's say that it travels x distance, and now it has a certain velocity v. Okay, now it has a certain velocity v. We are saying that it is moving with a velocity v. Okay, and because of this, the object is now going to have the kinetic energy as well. But you know that now the height has been decreased because the object is falling. Height has been decreased, and therefore its potential energy will be less than before. So at point B, we can write at point B, we have total energy is equal to kinetic plus potential. Okay? For kinetic energy, we will require velocity. That is, kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Half mv square. And we will require what? We will require velocity. And for that, we have the formula. If you remember, v square minus u square equals 2gh. Okay, 2gh. But in this case, you will see that the height is not h. Okay, height is not h. How much distance it has traveled? It has traveled x distance. So we will write where V square minus V square equals 2gx. This is what we are going to write. I hope it is clear to you, students. The next is, what will be the potential energy at this point? So potential energy is equal to potential energy is mgh. Potential energy of the system is mgh. But this time the height is not h. This time the height is only h minus x. Because if it has traveled x distance, then what is the height remaining? That is the total height minus the x distance it has traveled. So this is the height we have. So instead of h, we will write h minus x. So this is the new height. Okay. Let's say that if the total height is 10 meters and it has traveled 2 meters, that is the x. So what is remaining? That is 10 minus x, that is 10 minus 2. So the remaining height will be 8. So 8 plus 2. So ultimately what we have over here? H minus x. That was just an example. Okay. That is 10 minus 2 will give me 8. That is what h minus x is. Okay. Don't get confused. That was just an example. Now we have potential energy. We have velocity. We will substitute the values in this total energy at point B. So the total energy equals kinetic energy, that is half mv square plus potential energy mg h minus x. But we know that over here initial velocity is 0. V square minus u square 0. U over here is the initial velocity and it was 0. So what we have remaining over here, that is v square equals 2gx. Why? Because initial velocity is 0. So v square minus 0 is v square itself. So we will substitute this value of 2gx in this formula. So what we get? Half n 2gx plus mgh minus mgx. If you know simple mathematics, I simply multiplied mg and opened the bracket. So mgh minus mgx. Okay. Over here 2 and 2 get cancelled. So what I have remaining? mgx plus mgh minus mgx. Now in this case, you can see that mgx and minus mgx, they both are same value. So I cut that. And what I am remaining? Plus mgh. So the answer is mgh. So the total energy of the system is mgh. As you can see that the total energy of the system was mgh, which is still unchanged. It remains the same. I hope it is clear to you, students. Similarly, students, now we move on to point C. So at point C, we know that its velocity is v and its height is 0. So we can write that total energy is equal to kinetic plus potential. This we know the formula for the total energy of the system. And its height h is 0. So I will write that potential energy is mgh, but height is 0. Therefore, 0 into any number is 0 itself. So the potential energy of the system is 0. So what I have remaining? Kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is half mv square. Once again. And what will be its velocity? And for velocity, I have the same formula once again. That is v square minus v square equals 2gs. But in this case, what is the distance traveled? At point C, it is touching the ground. So it has traveled h amount of distance, the full length. So I will write over here as h. Once again, u is 0. So 0 square is 0. So v square minus 0 is v square itself. So I am writing v square equals 2gh because u square is 0. Initial velocity. It is remaining 0. So now what I have over here, I have the velocity v square is 2gh. Substituting this velocity of v square over here in this formula, what I get is kinetic energy equals half and 2gh. And therefore 2 and 2 get cancelled and what I have remaining is mgh. So kinetic energy equals mgh. So I have this value. Now all I have to do is substitute this in this formula, that is total kinetic plus potential. So ultimately what I have over here, total energy equals, that is kinetic is mgh plus height is 0, so potential is also 0. So I am writing mgh equals 0. And what I have ultimately, total energy is mgh plus 0, so it becomes mgh. the total energy of the system, like before, it does not change. It remains mgh. And this simple derivation at point B and C describes that whatever the energy was at point A, it is still at point B and point C as well. I hope it is clear to you, students. This simple derivation proves that the law of conservation of energy still holds for any object around us. And the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another form. Okay, students? Okay, students. So we move on to the last topic of the chapter, that is rate of doing work. So we talk about the power of a particular person, that he has more power or she has more power or less power. We talk about this, or this machine is doing more work or less work. So what does that work mean in our scientific form? Let's study. So the rate of doing work is known as power. And what does this statement mean? It means that how much amount of work is done in certain amount of time. We studied about the word rate. Rate of doing or rate of performing some task gives us the time or how much the work is done in a certain amount of time. We studied this in the motion chapter as well. The rate of change of velocity, that is acceleration. How much velocity is changing at what rate? It means at what amount of time the velocity is changing. So same thing is over here. So to understand this, we have a simple task. Let's say that we have a box and two workers are appointed for doing the same job. Okay, we have two exact same boxes and they both are supposed to move at a certain distance, let's say 50 meters, and over here 50 meters. They both have same mass. Okay, they both have same mass. There is no difference. And we have appointed two workers. So the first person is applying the force and the object starts moving, and this one also applies the force. They both start applying the force at the same time. Okay, we start the clock. But this person does the work. That means he pushes the box and the box achieves or reaches at 50-meter target in, let's say, 30 seconds. In 30 seconds. And this person does the same job in 45 seconds. So who has done the work faster? Obviously the person over here has done the work faster because he has only taken 30 seconds compared to this person who has taken the time of 45 seconds, that is 15 seconds more. So we say that this person has more power because in doing the same amount of work, he has taken less time. This is how we describe the power of a particular person. And according to this, and according to the statement, we have power of a person is equal to work done upon time taken. And work done is also equal to energy consumed. So we can also write that power is equal to energy consumed in a certain amount of time. So if there is a machine, let's say there is a machine that is doing a certain amount of work. So obviously machine is going to require energy. So we can say what is the power of the machine? So energy it consumes in a certain amount of time. So how much amount of energy it is consuming in a certain amount of time is called power. Okay, and its SI unit is work done is joule and time taken is in second. Over here also energy is joule and time taken is in second. So we have power is joules per second. It is joules and this is seconds. Okay, so the power is given by joules per second, or it is known as watt. So the unit of power is watt. Okay, given by W. This W is not work done, this W is unit. Okay, and when we write W in the form of formula, W is equal to F into S. This is not power, this is work done, and this is written at the end of a numerical when finding the power ultimately. Okay, so this was the last topic of the chapter, students. In the next video we will do the revision of the whole chapter and we will do numericals regarding the same. That's all for today. Have a nice day.